Imagine waking up, opening your favorite social media app, and the first thing you see is a wave of Americans, shouting in all caps, memes flying like popcorn at a bad movie, TikTokers spinning in circles of disbelief. All because Donald Trump just dropped what he calls the big beautiful bill. That's right, not just a bill, not just legislation. This thing is apparently so beautiful, even Michelangelo would blush.
Your state just lost the power to protect you from artificial intelligence for the next 10 years. Tucked inside Trump's massive One Big Beautiful Bill is something called Section 43201. It gives the Department of Commerce $500 million to upgrade the federal systems using AI. But the wild part is it bans all 50 states from regulating AI for a full decade. No state can pass any law to limit or control AI used in interstate commerce, period. That means your governor, your local lawmakers, they can't stop it. Think about it. Facial recognition in stores, AI in job applications, predictive policing, credit approvals. If any of those systems discriminate against you, your state can't help. You have to deal with it federally. And you know that's slower and way harder to do, right? So let's say Rite Aid wrongfully labels you as a thief using AI. No state lawsuit, no state law, just you versus a faceless system built with federal protection. This isn't just about now, it's about the next 10 years. AI will replace government workers. Your personal data could be processed without local limits. Big tech will have fewer restrictions on what they can do. This isn't innovation, it's centralized automation, and we have zero local say. What happens when AI is used for public surveillance? What happens when a biased algorithm denies your mortgage or flags your kids at school? You can't vote it out. You can't sue your state. You can't escape it, because the federal government gave AI a 10-year free pass.
Whoa, so I just logged on to Twitter and I searched Elon Musk. Of course, I have his ass blocked, but I went to view posts because I saw something crazy that I needed to fucking verify. So I scroll on his page and I go to this tweet where he says, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination," talking about the big, beautiful bill from Donald Trump. "Shame on those who voted for it. All the Republicans, you know you did wrong. You fucking know it." Now, he also tweeted this. I went back. I'm showing you exactly what I did live. "It will massively increase the already gigantic budget deficit to $2.5 trillion and burden American citizens with crushingly unsustainable debt." Now, he just tweeted this at 1:31 p.m. This comes after this morning from 10:30 in the morning, where the Senate just moved forward to approve the big, beautiful bill. Mind you, this is the same bill that's going to cut food stamps, what is known as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, being cut by $267 billion. Not to mention cutting $700 billion in Medicaid, which not only cuts millions of people's health care, but also closes hospitals all across the country. All to give tax cuts to the ultra fucking wealthy. All of this clears up when yesterday you learned that Elon Musk reportedly owes Donald Trump a whole bunch of motherfucking money. According to the Wall Street Journal, Musk isn't keeping the cash flowing. Trump advisors said that at least a $100 million check hasn't arrived yet. Not only is Elon's money not flowing, Musk apparently got mad as fuck when Trump was going to meet with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, who apparently is one of Elon Musk's biggest enemies, because Elon Musk is also doing AI. He's doing Grok on Twitter, and then OpenAI CEO is also doing his own shit. The MAGA girlies are motherfucking fighting, but don't get this shit twisted. It's always going to be fuck Elon Musk all motherfucking day, because he's the big reason why we're fucking here in the first place.
You guys are waking up to a beautiful Thursday morning. Why? Because our President Trump, 47, big, beautiful bill has just passed the House. The House of Representatives erupts in cheers and applause as they pass President Trump's big, beautiful bill. This is the key things that you guys need to know. This bill allows no tax on tips or overtime, $175 billion for deportation and the wall, and tax relief for seniors. But what makes this big, beautiful bill is that it makes President Trump's 2017 tax cuts permanent. Okay. What you also need to know, the truth about this one big, beautiful bill, is that people who are making between 30 and 80,000 get a 15% tax cut. Furthermore, helping the American people. Now, this prioritizes American people. Not only that, it cuts waste, fraud, and abuse that the Democratic Party has allowed for so many years.
You guys, we all know Elon Musk and Donald Trump were political buddies, right? Like, at least last week. But now, Elon is setting fire to Trump's biggest economic plan on X. What happened? So, just days ago, Elon Musk stepped down from the Department of Government Efficiency, aka the Doge Department. But now, he's calling Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act a, quote, disgusting abomination. What's in this beautiful bill makes Elon so mad? Okay, first, $3.8 trillion in tax cuts, $250 million for rundown pet projects, like renovating the Kennedy Center. Like, seriously? And raising the debt ceiling to $40 trillion. Also, tariffs that might boost revenue or wreck the economy. Elon said on X, this bill is packed with pork. Shame on anyone who voted for it. So yeah, the bromance is over. Alright, let me know what you think in the comment section. Is Elon standing up for taxpayers or Tesla?
Let's talk about this big, beautiful bill. At least that's what Donald Trump is calling it. Keep it real. It's nothing beautiful about slashing support down for everyday Americans while handing out massive tax breaks for the rich. Here's what's actually in this bill. 4.5 trillion tax cuts that will help the 1% household, which will help them save over $300,000 in household savings. $2 trillion in cuts to essential programs like Medicaid and SNAP that will hurt low-income families that depend on it for health care and food assistance. Stricter work requirements for people that receive Medicaid and SNAP, which could cause 7.6 million people in America to lose health insurance. 300 million slashed from the SNAP program will affect the most vulnerable people in America. When certain members of Congress expressed their concern, Senator Johnny Ernest stated, well, we're all gonna die. This is a direct attack on working families, senior citizens, and marginalized communities. Stay woke, and remember, your vote is your voice. I'm Mercedes Jackson, and you're watching Mercedes in Politics.
Wake the fuck up! I'm awake. Not woke, but I'm awake. Let's talk about Trump's big, beautiful budget bill. Yeah, tax cuts for working families. It's pretty awesome. Getting rammed through the House at 1 fucking a.m. while we're all asleep. That's not governance. That's cowardice. So when they pushed out the American Rescue Plan and voted on it at 2:30 a.m. during Biden's presidency, you have that same energy, right? This bill, it cuts Medicare. No, it doesn't. Medicaid. No, it doesn't. SNAP, No, it doesn't. The literal lifelines millions of people rely on. Hey, Grok, does the big, beautiful bill directly cut Medicare, Medicaid, or SNAP benefits? No. It does speculate that some might lose some coverage, but requiring able-bodied people to work 80 hours a month or volunteer isn't such a big ask. Strengthening a program's integrity is only going to help the American people. Elderly folks, disabled folks, children. And I think this guy needs to relax. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Follow, repost.
The market's reaction to Trump's big, beautiful tax bill passing the House isn't as beautiful as the name might suggest. The bill is a cocktail of sweeping tax cuts, bigger spending, especially on defense and infrastructure, and sharp cuts to safety net programs. Add it all up, and it's nearly $3 trillion added to the deficit over 10 years. And here's the kicker. In 2026, the U.S. is expected to spend $1 trillion just paying the interest on our debt. That's more than we spend on the military. According to the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, the richest households will benefit the most, while low-income Americans lose resources. After Trump's bill passed the House, markets dipped, and the 30-year Treasury yield surged past 5%, its highest since 2007. And that is a serious red flag. So, what does that mean? Check out part 2 of this video.
I think they broke up, y'all. Melania calls Trump's bill an abomination. He said, I just can't stand it no more. I'm sorry, he called it a disgusting abomination. Then he went on an X rant. Sorry, formerly known as Twitter. I'm sorry, I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong, you know it. Hey, that's not it. It was massively increased already a dynamic budget deficit of $2.5 trillion, a burden on American citizens, and crushingly unsustainable debt. Baby, I'm waiting for the tweets to go off. I'm waiting for Truth Social to start blowing up because the way Elon is speaking, He's speaking like he's now a Democrat. He's speaking like he's a leftist, a liberal. He's speaking as if he has common sense now, and that is scary to me. Because the way he helped destroy the government and all the government-funded programs, you would not think he would talk like this. I mean, maybe Elon is finally fed up and he knows how much the tariffs are going to fuck up his whole life. So he's going after anything and everything. But I love the infighting. Please keep it up.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The problem with the big beautiful bill isn't that it's going to increase the deficit by like $4 trillion. The problem with the bill is that its intention is to hurt everybody that isn't a fucking multi-millionaire. If we lived in an alternate dimension where our president was FDR on steroids and our entire government was like ultra blue and they like offered like a huge spending bill, but everything it did helped people. Free healthcare, free education, trains everywhere, decommodifying housing, I would have been all for it. Like if the deficit went up at the benefit of helping every American, I don't think anybody would have a problem. Well, they would have a problem because deficit hawks would be like, well, the deficit's going up. But the entire Republican Party is going to like quadruple our deficit while making all of us suffer. It's like, man, like, why are we trapped in this fucking hell?
Let's do something I like to call MAGA math. Doge promised to cut $2 trillion from our budget, but they missed that goal by $1.9 trillion, so whoops. And as of today, the Congressional Budget Office said that Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill was going to increase the deficit by $2.4 trillion, leading to a staggering $4.3 trillion in broken promises and deficit increases. So congratulations, MAGA, the guy you elected to fix the economy and his companion internet troll did exactly what we said they were going to do, which is jack shit.
Look, I voted for Trump, and I'll be the first to tell you that I'm not down with this big, beautiful bill. And let me tell you why. People say all the time, oh, you Trump supporters are in a cult. No, we're not, because we are not in blind obedience to one individual. We are more than willing and happy to criticize our own, and that is how it should be in the political arena. We see so much in this big, beautiful bill that actually is the opposite of much of what we actually voted for. We see a continued increase in spending, unnecessary spending. Not only that, but we also see the increase and encroachment of AI. We see funding of pet projects that we do not agree with. And we are going to raise our voices against it, as any well-educated electorate should do. You know, Elon Musk is right in calling it a disgusting abomination. And I think that the Trump administration needs to realize just how damaging it will be if we wind up passing this bill, continue this trend of wasteful spending, and then wonder why individuals don't show up in the midterms to vote for this continued irresponsibility. The reason people voted for Trump is because we want to see fiscal responsibility. We want to see an end to waste, fraud, and abuse. And we don't want Republicans to say one thing and do another. That's what people on the left are very accustomed to, is their politicians saying one thing and doing another. They're just used to it at this point. They have Stockholm syndrome. But we demand better, as we should. That's why I myself, and many others like me, do not agree with this big, beautiful bill and want to see it actually redrafted to only include the things that matter to average, everyday Americans. Those are my thoughts, and I'm curious what yours might be.
So Elon now has MAGA losing their minds over Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill.
Let me say this. It's very disappointing. Okay, I've come to consider Elon a good friend. He's obviously a very intelligent person, and he's done a lot of great work. With all due respect, my friend Elon is terribly wrong about the one big beautiful bill.
So what did Elon say about it? He said, I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it.
Tell us how you really feel.
Leaves the White House and then pulls the pin on the grenade.
Yeah,
brutal. I guess after he pulled the pin in that grenade and tossed it, he decided to double back on the White House by issuing this statement. It will massively increase the already gigantic budget deficit to $2.5 trillion and burden American citizens with crushingly unsustainable debt. And just a few minutes ago, he puts the nail in the coffin. In November next year, we fire all politicians who betrayed the American people. And Elon isn't the only person today sticking it to MAGA. Check out Marjorie Trader Green's response. Full transparency. I did not know about this section on page 278 through 279 of the big beautiful bill that strips states of the right to make laws or regulate AI for 10 years. You've heard it. She's admitting she didn't even read the bill that she voted for, and she is now regretting her vote. What Elon Musk and Marjorie Taylor Greene and all of these other elected officials in between that support Donald Trump don't understand is this, and that's why I say it. The most dangerous thing in this country is an uninformed Trump voter. To all the soldiers who are standing up right now for truth and out here with me combating this misinformation and disinformation from the Trump administration, keep up the great work. Do not allow the spin to win. You heard it here first from me, Big Zeus.
We didn't know exactly how it was going to end, but we knew something like this was coming. And now that it's here, I have only one piece of advice for you. Do not let anyone rob you of the savory deliciousness of the moment and the memory you first saw Elon Musk call Donald Trump's big beautiful bill a massive, outrageous, pork-filled, disgusting abomination. I mean, there's breaking up with someone in a way that leaves them some dignity, and then there's buying their childhood home, bulldozing it to the ground, and then in the spot where their bedroom once sat, erecting a 200-foot flashing billboard with 4,000-point font that reads, "A daft prick once lived here, and that daft prick is now emotionally defeated and single." Now, I do have to caution you, this does not mean that Elon Musk found a soul, because he hates this disgusting abomination talking about the bill, not the president, for all of the wrong reasons. He doesn't hate it because it would potentially leave 8 million Americans without health insurance, because it would protect Trump appointees from contempt charges when they ignore judges, because it would ban states from regulating AI for 10 years, and he doesn't hate it because it would prevent federal funds from going to Planned Parenthood to provide critical healthcare services to Americans. No, he hates it because it doesn't cut enough. He wants social misery and economic misery. Of course, we should obviously welcome the animosity toward Trump, but no, we should not mistake it for Elon Musk finding his way to the light. He is still just as bad as ever, maybe worse, but this time it's different bad. And sometimes different bad is kind of good.
Elon Musk has Trump derangement syndrome.
But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it. But
And this is beautiful to watch because there's a lot of people out there that wish they now could get behind Elon Musk because he's attacking Trump. However, they've made it very clear in recent months that they hate Elon Musk with a vengeance. So if they did get involved, they just become hypocrites. So it keeps them out the way. Donald Trump has just done a press conference and he said that the good relationship that he had with Elon has mostly now ended.
We have it with others too. They leave and they wake up in the morning and the glamour's gone. The whole world is different and they become hostile. I don't know what it is. Someday you'll write a book about it. You'll let us know.
We've also got Elon attacking Donald Trump on his social media, saying that Donald Trump wouldn't have won the election without him. Donald Trump wouldn't have taken the majority in the House, nor would he have taken the majority in the Senate without Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is showing his true colours, starting to moan about all things to do with this big, beautiful bill. And it feels like we've got a lot of entertainment being shown to us at the moment because we're watching a movie. But this big, beautiful bill is bringing a lot of controversy out from other people in politics. You've got Rand Paul, who's a Republican, who voted no against the bill. And then you've got now Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is a Republican MAGA, who's now been reading the bill, and now she's getting panicky to do with the AI and technology. And she said if it comes back into Senate, she's going to say no. Well, what's quite interesting, these names are out there. Rand Paul's wife had stocks in remdesivir. And Marjorie Taylor Greene had stocks in 3 of the COVID vaccines. They were both meant to be anti-COVID. So we're going to start seeing the true colours of a lot of these people, and Trump puts them all out there for us. However, Trump is the truth. So you've got all the people that were complaining about Elon for so long. They can't get involved. This plan is amazing.
Today is 22 May 2025, so just a quick post today about the House Republicans' ridiculous, quote-unquote, big beautiful bill that they passed in the dark of night early this morning by one vote. They lost 3 members of the caucus, and others either didn't vote, didn't show up, or basically abstained from the vote. But basically what is going to happen is, although this bill does remove taxes from tips and overtime, it is going to cost millions and millions of Americans their health coverage, those who rely on Medicaid. Lower income families, people who are in nursing homes, they're pushing up a work requirement for Medicaid. I don't know how that's going to work. How do you prove that you're working if you're on Medicaid? How do you prove that you can't work because you're retired and living in a nursing home, or that you have a physical or mental disability that prohibits your ability to work, or if you're on disability and you need Medicaid for your health insurance to survive, or if you're a lower income family and you rely on Medicaid? How are these requirements going to be applied? Also, how are they going to get rid of fraud, waste, and abuse? They keep saying fraud, waste, and abuse is a general term to apply to everything. What are they going to consider fraud, waste, and abuse? I'm extremely concerned, and I think every American should be, that millions and millions of Americans are going to lose Medicaid, their health insurance. I think the Republicans are going to gut it because they need to afford massive tax cuts for the uber wealthy. The uber wealthy are going to benefit from this bill if it passes through the Senate as is, or as close as is. Meanwhile, lower to middle income families are not going to get a break financially from this bill. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is having a big dinner tonight for 200 plus investors who have invested in his meme coin. His family, Trump's family, since coming in office, have made over $300 million from this huge grift. And so he's throwing an expensive and elaborate dinner for his 200 plus investors who have invested in this ridiculous meme coin. At the same time, they're trying to hurt lower and middle income families by gutting their health care, making things more expensive because these tax breaks aren't going to help us. Grocery prices haven't really gone down. Gas hasn't really gone down. And yet Donald Trump continues to get extremely wealthy off his position as being president. So, MAGA, how does that feel? FAFO.
But here's the thing. The reaction online. Absolutely bonkers. People are going wild. Some are calling it economic suicide in a suit. Others say it's Trump being Trump. Bold, reckless, and marketing like a man running a campaign straight out of a reality show. And honestly, when I first read it, I felt like I was reading the script to a political action thriller, not an actual piece of American policy. So, let's break it down. What's in this big beautiful bill? Why are Americans flipping out? And most importantly, what does it actually mean for everyday folks? Now, before we dive into the nuts and bolts, let's talk about reactions. Because oh boy, they are loud. Twitter, or should I say X, is exploding. You've got economists tweeting graphs like they're Avengers assembling. Teenagers are roasting the bill on TikTok with SpongeBob voiceovers. And Reddit, it's a dumpster fire of hot takes. This bill makes Fire Festival look organized, one post read. Another said, if trickle-down economics had a final boss, it would be this. So what exactly did Trump put on the table? Well, at first glance, it looks like your typical conservative dream package. Permanent tax cuts for corporations, slashed funding for what they call non-essential social programs, promises of job creation, and of course, the classic, it'll pay for itself, line, which we've heard more times than we've heard Mariah Carey at Christmas. But here's where it gets dicey. These tax cuts, they're massive, like, record-breaking massive. And they're not temporary, they're permanent. We're talking about corporate taxes slashed down so low that Amazon might start paying in monopoly money. And for middle-class families, you might get a short-term boost, but let's not kid ourselves, the big bucks go to the big players. The bill also proposes cuts to Medicaid, housing assistance, food programs, and public education funding. Now, I don't know about you, but when you say, beautiful, I think sunsets, Beyoncé at the Grammys, or a perfectly made sandwich, not gutting social safety nets so billionaires can upgrade from yachts to space stations. But of course, the spin is strong. Trump's team is calling it the boldest economic reset in a generation. They're selling it like an iPhone launch. It's got slogans. It's got a logo. I'm half expecting billboards that say, "Make America richer if you already are." Now let's talk about the deeper issue. Why are people really mad? First, it's the timing. America's economy is still recovering from shocks, inflation's been kicking around like a bad cold, and people are just trying to pay rent without selling a kidney. And here comes a bill that promises relief, if you're rich. That's like giving a blanket to the sun and saying, "Stay warm." Second, the bill heavily favors privatization. Trump is proposing shifting major public services into the hands of private companies. On paper, that sounds efficient. In reality, it's a cash grab disguised as innovation. Imagine calling for an ambulance and getting a message that says, "Your emergency is important to us. Please insert credit card." And then there's the debt. Oh, the debt. Experts estimate that if this bill goes through, the national deficit could skyrocket. We're talking trillions added over the next decade. Now, Trump's defenders argue that economic growth will offset it. But if that actually worked, I'd be sitting on a beach right now sipping something fancy because of all the promises from previous trickle-down policies. Spoiler alert, it didn't work then. It's not likely to work now. Let's not forget the international community watching this unfold like it's an episode of House of Cards. European economists are scratching their heads. Canadian media is throwing shade. Even some conservatives are sweating, calling this bill a risky bet on a roulette wheel with only one green space. And here's the kicker, Trump's core base. They're not totally sold either. Some are worried about rising healthcare costs. Others are afraid their kids' public schools will suffer. Even MAGA hat-wearing uncles at Thanksgiving are saying, "Wait, this cuts my benefits." So what does the big beautiful bill really achieve? From an independent point of view, not left, not right, just facts, it's flashy. It's bold. It's a statement piece. But just like that expensive leather jacket you bought to impress your high school crush, it doesn't mean it's smart. It's designed to win political points. It tells a certain base, "I'm back, and I'm swinging." But policy, real, sustainable, people-first policy, that's where it falls flat. You can't build a strong economy on tweets, tax breaks, and televised signing ceremonies. Now, if you're wondering, could there be a silver lining? Maybe. Some say it might temporarily stimulate markets. Wealthy investors are already salivating. Stock tickers went up right after the announcement. Wall Street seems thrilled, but Main Street, not so much. And if we're being honest, this isn't just about Trump. This is a bigger conversation about who benefits from economic policy, who pays for it, and what kind of country America wants to be. Because at the end of the day, the bill may be beautiful to some, but beauty fades when the bill comes due. And this one, it's coming with interest. So where do we go from here? Well, the bill still has to go through Congress. There's going to be a fight. Democrats are already calling it economic sabotage. Progressive groups are organizing protests. Legal experts are raising concerns about potential constitutional issues. And the media, they've got popcorn ready. But what really matters is what you think. Because bills like this aren't just about numbers on paper, they're about real people. Real lives. Real consequences. This is your paycheck, your healthcare, your child's school, your elderly parents' nursing home. It's easy to get caught up in the chaos, the memes, the sound bites. But don't forget to ask the deeper questions. Who gains? Who loses? Who's telling the truth? And who's just trying to win the next election? So the next time someone tells you about a big beautiful bill, smile politely, and ask to see the fine print. Because under all the glitter, the real price tag might shock you. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay informed, and remember, politics is showbiz for ugly people, but policy, that's where the real drama begins.